Well, Arsenal, they had the chance to go 7 points clear at the top of the table, but they've allowed Manchester City to get within just 4 points. Manchester United, on the other hand, have moved up the table to sit in 4th place. Now, Manchester City and Aston Villa, they remained in 2nd and 3rd after their respective wins over the weekend. Chelsea, they've gone up to 5th after a win over Crystal Palace. And Liverpool have gone down to 6th after a loss to Bournemouth. Now, after that Arsenal-Manchester United game, Patrick Vieira, he questioned whether Arsenal could make it to the end of the season successfully due to their mental strength. So let's take a listen to what Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta had to say about that.
We accept every opinion, where it comes and where it's coming from, and they will have the right reasons to say it. At the end, we have to show the mental strength that we have on the pitch when it comes to match day. And we were absolutely brilliant in Milan, and today we weren't that good. I don't know if it was mental because how much they play, but because we were poor, especially technically in certain aspects of the game, that against a team that when you make those mistakes, they can punish you big time, and that was the difference.
Now, Geoff, our own James Bench, he said that Arsenal may be the only team to get in the way of Arsenal, and you can hear Arteta kind of refute the fact that they don't have the mental strength to get to the end of the season. Where's your stance on that?
Well, we have reached a traditional time of year, and this is a particular date in the football calendar. We haven't seen it for a while, but we're done with Christmas, we're done with New Year. Now is the time of year which was coined by Sir Alex Ferguson. This, Claudia, is squeaky bum time. This is the time when you get to see, OK, let's see who's got it. Who's got the mentality? When they're nipping at your heels, when the questions come thick and fast. Arsenal 2 points from 9, so they're wobbling at the moment. And Mikel Arteta is quite right. We've got to prove it. We've got to show we've got the mentality. And that is a big, big problem for Arsenal right now.
Lahoud, a couple of years ago when Arsenal really was in the title race a couple of years ago, they didn't end up obviously succeeding at the end of the season. Is there anything about the team this year that makes you think that they could actually get it done this year?
From the strikers to the midfielders to the goalkeeper to the 2 central defenders, and most importantly now, Geoff and Tony, as we saw at the very end with the boos, with Arsenal fans in the stadium and Arsenal fans at home. I mean, we even had the group chat popping off yesterday. Didn't know if they were going or coming.
The most frustrating group chat for someone who wanted to chime in, and I'm like, I'm going on the show tomorrow. Just stay out of it. Just stay out of it. Look, is there reason to be concerned? I guess, right? The last 3 Premier League games, but as Mikel Arteta said in the midweek game, which I still think was a major focus against Inter, they looked outstanding, right? This team has it. Here's where I get caught up with this whole thing, because sometimes when I listen to people who are Arsenal fans in particular, the math doesn't math up for me, right? Because we say I've heard for years, this is the most difficult league in the world. This is the toughest league in the world to play in. And then when the 5th place team in the league beats the 1st place team, we're like shocked all of a sudden. What are we shocked at? We said Nottingham Forest, right? Yeah. Nottingham Forest is in 15th, so where they're somewhere in around there, right? So should we be so surprised? The issue is what's happened over the last couple of years with Arsenal, right? Where people think they've bungled it a little bit, right? And they haven't gotten over the line. Look, Arsenal's been the 2nd place team for years. And in the years that they finished 2nd, they were truly the 2nd place team. Man City teams are great. Liverpool was outstanding last year. And did we think for 1 minute, Geoff, did we think this was going to be easy for Arsenal? It's never easy to win a title. Doesn't matter what league you're in.
It's never easy, and I think it's even harder when you've come so close in recent seasons. For me, there is no question. I said this right at the start of the season. I've said it continuously. Arsenal have the depth of the squad. They have the talent. But do they have the mentality? And only they can answer that. And I wouldn't sit here right now and say, yes, they have, or yes, they haven't. We can't call the league right now. There's 15 games to go. So there's still a lot of football. They're 4 points clear. So it's now down to them to deliver. In terms of the crowd, absolutely. I spoke to a couple of guys who were at the game yesterday, writers, and they said the booing at the end, he said it was a tiny smattering, and it was like a frustration. It's not like, say, I don't know, the Tottenham fans booing their manager relentlessly, you know. So it's, if you can say it is nuanced. Both of the writers said to me, worse than that though, the anxiety in the stadium is palpable. Is absolutely palpable. Ultimately, it all goes back to the coach. The way he sets up, the way Arsenal play, he has to instill a positive mentality. He has to. I do think that Mikel Arteta is a cautious coach, and that sometimes comes across. And it comes across in the way that they play, the way they go out. And the quote surfaced from Rodri last season, where he said, after the draw at Man City, he said that they came happy to get a draw or only, not to get beat. And I do think that is part of Mikel Arteta's DNA. Equally, that could win them the title.
Yeah, I have concerns about what I'm seeing from Arsenal moving from this match and moving forward, because I always think about the players in this, and I think you're right to challenge Mikel Arteta. But my biggest question to the Arsenal players is, who are the leaders on this team, right? And Tony, you know this, where when you're in a difficult patch in your season, you look to the guy next to you, you're looking for someone to step up.
To make, Tony, 4 substitutions in one go, does that smack of panic? And also, how quickly... It takes 20 minutes for it to settle down, 4 substitutions.
Yeah, that was, I don't like what I see right now, and I need to do something drastic, right? Because 4 is a lot. It changes the rhythm of the game. Claudia, one of my big concerns is, in the end, when we watched like Liverpool last year, Mo Salah 30-plus goals last year, the year before Erling Haaland, when you need a goal from this Arsenal side, who's the guy to get you a goal? Right? Right now, it's goals by committee. Right? I think you said, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a huge stats guy, I think people know that, but I think you said no one has scored more than 5 goals in the Premier League, and they've got 6 own goals. So own goals is essentially the leader.
He's their top striker.
Right. Well, I'll rattle it off very quickly. Right. These are stats that we usually don't do on Morning Footy. Victor Gyökeres, 1 goal in his last 11 matches. Trossard, 1 in his last 9. Saka, 1 in his last 12, sprinkling a couple assists. Martinelli, 1 in his last 13. And Noni Madueke, the big signing from Chelsea, hasn't scored a Premier League goal in a year. So to my question, Claudia, it's just, where do you find the goals? Like, are you going to live your entire season? It seems like it's going to be by committee. You're going to live or die by committee right now to get goals.
But what's laughable, we're sitting here talking about the team who are at the top of the table.
Yeah.
They're 4 points clear. Every other team would love to... So you can't all of a sudden rubbish Arsenal, hopeless, they've got no chance. The only question right now for me, well, 2 question marks, is 1, mentality, because they haven't been in this position where, I mean, they're still, I checked this morning, they're still opt to give them an 84% chance of winning the Premier League this season. So they're still the favourites by some distance. That, and also, where are the goals going to come from? Like I said, squeaky bum time.
I think a couple months ago, or even just a couple weeks ago, we could have let that slide a little bit with all these players not scoring goals. Okay, maybe it's only been 3 games, 4 games. But now, to the stats that you riled off, Lahoud, there's such a serious issue here. So, I mean, how much do you think we're panicking about Mikel Arteta and the position that he's in right now?
Yeah, look, I think there's every right to be panicked about this and concerned. My panic meter right now is concerned, and I don't even know where I'm looking right now. So, nervous is very much what I see in Arsenal fans. Nervous is what I see within the team, because I look at body language at the end of that match. You look at Gabriel, he looked like someone took his dog. Declan Rice shaking his head. Martin Odegaard, like I said again, nowhere to be seen or found, and the rest of the team look absolutely dejected. And I just worry for this Arsenal side, because until someone says it's enough, enough is enough, we have to change the culture. We have to change what's happened. This is going to continue. And the number 1 person that I think needs to hold himself accountable is Mikel Arteta. You have to have ambition. You have to be less cautious.
Yeah, very quickly, Tony. Do you see it in the play? Because they talk about bravery in football. You know, he's a tough guy. He's this. That. A lot of times, bravery is showing for the ball when you're not in a great. You've got somebody up your backside or making a run. You might not get the ball. Do you see, as Patrick Vieira said, a lack of risk, a cautious team playing?
Well, you said it's Mikel Arteta in a nutshell. He's a conservative coach. I don't see anything different over the last month that I saw in the beginning of the year, outside of the fact that they won games, and now over the last 3, they haven't been able to get results. Yeah, if you're asking me who's winning the Premier League, I think Arsenal's winning the Premier League. And I don't know. I think City was always going to give them a run here, but they've slipped up. But for me, I think Arsenal's winning the Premier League. I don't know what that meter was, but I'm on the line of relaxed and the next one.
Really?
You got your Cohiba out.
Yeah, but I will never be carefree. I saw that one. Never in a league will I be carefree. But as far as Arsenal, they're so talented. right? They just played midweek Champions League against one of the best teams in Europe.
Yeah, but they made a load of changes. And do you know who will be delighted that we haven't talked about them at all? Who will absolutely be stoked?
Is he bald?
Aston Villa.
Oh, he's not bald.
Ooh.
It's not just City on their tails.
After the game, Gary Neville said the magic is back for this Manchester United side, especially in the last week. I mean, what's been different from them, Lahoud?
Yeah, I look at just some of the intangibles, and we can get to the tactics in a bit, but I really think Mikel Carrick is giving this Manchester United side a new hope and belief, a passion, a resilience, an energy that United fans can go and recognize and say, wait, that's my team. That's the team I fell in love with. And I just look at how infectious everything they're doing, the little things, winning second balls, duels, but they really look like a united team. They look like a united front. And the biggest thing, and I love, is that they're a resemblance of the fans, right? And I think the fans can connect with them in a way they could never connect with this team under Ruben Amorim. The players look like they're enjoying themselves, Geoff.
I just want to say welcome back, Lahoud. I've not seen you for several years now. I've been coming to this show for 2 years. He's never had a word to say about Manchester United. He's been permanently depressed.
Oh, man.
He's been like this every time. So United and Lahoud are back.
Yeah, no, it took a while.
This used to be the biggest fixture in the Premier League, Arsenal United. It hasn't been for many, many years. I just thought United looked like a throwback to what Manchester United were. They were brave, they were resilient, they were attacking. They could have actually scored more than the 3 that they scored. And it's extraordinary, the turnaround. I think it shows what a shambles it was under Ruben Amorim. I mean, this is the same group of players. There's not a new signing coming. These are the same people that have just absolutely annihilated Manchester City and taken Arsenal apart in their own backyard. So fantastic performances from Manchester United.
So then how much credit do you give to Mikel Carrick? Because as Geoff is saying, this is the same group of players that Ruben Amorim has, but he is putting some players in some different positions.
Yeah, well, he's putting in where they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
He's brought some leaders back into the team. Lisandro Martinez has come back in next to Harry Maguire. I mean, Harry Maguire, who knew under Amorim what was going to happen to him? We all think that would have been the end. They looked, Geoff, confused under Amorim. And you can see the big thing is 4 in the back. It's something that everybody does. You're not making a mystery out of the game. I'm not a United fan, so I watched as just a spectator. They always, under Amorim, they always look like they were thinking all the time. They were thinking about where I go next,
Good expression.
what I do next, where footballers that are great and teams that are great, they never look like they're thinking, they're just doing. And my father used to tell me all the time when I was a kid, don't think, you're not equipped. Right? That's what he said.
My wife tells me the same thing.
Yeah, your wife probably the same, right?
What about Tony?
Yeah. That she would be right. They were both right. But my point is, they looked like under the time they had under Amorim, they still never figured out how they want to play. Now you go to something, a 4-2-3-1, and I'm not sure, Claudio, that the personnel matters as much as the comfort of everyone having played in that system and understand, because you've played in that system since you were 6 years old, right? So he's simplified it to make it easy. Yeah,
I mean, Harry Maguire said after the game, he said, the group is energised, we're galvanised. Yeah. And by the way, special shout out for Harry Maguire. I think he was abused by Erik ten Hag. He was abused by Amorim. He's been nothing but a magnificent servant. And every time he comes back into the team, they do well. I'm biased towards Harry Maguire. I'll openly admit it. But I just think he's been absolutely rock solid. And none of this nonsense going to speak in a mixed zone or getting your brother to turn up wearing a T-shirt saying, play my brother, all that crap. Just solid professional. And how comfortable did he look at the weekend?
Well, I remember it was last year or maybe 2 years ago. My brain's in a fog, baby brain. But you had asked, who can Manchester United trust in this transition? And you had mentioned Harry Maguire. Now we're seeing that it's not just Harry the hero. Patrick Dorgu is someone you can trust.
What did Amorim say about him?
Oh, he wasn't good enough.
He said whenever he gets the ball, there's a nervousness, an anxiety.
Yeah, look,
it was from the Arsenal defenders.
When I watch what Patrick Dorgu's doing, when I watch what Bruno Fernandes is doing and the rest of the team, many of these players are playing in natural positions that they would play for their national teams, they would play on any other given team, apart from a Manchester United team under Ruben Amorim. Amad Diallo plays as a right winger for Côte d'Ivoire, and last time I checked the African Cup of Nations, he's banging in goals. Brian Mbeumo can play as a striker, can play anywhere along the front line. Patrick Dorgu can play as a left winger, right? But it's where Mikel Carrick is putting everyone in and around Bruno Fernandes. And big shout out to Kobe Manu and Casemiro as well. What I see with Manchester United right now is that Bruno Fernandes is the absolute glue. And when we talk about Premier League midfielders, the best, for me, there's no question. It's Bruno Fernandes, and then there's everyone else. And he's the one player right now that I think is the most dangerous player in the entire league with the ball at his feet, and his teammates are thriving off of that.
So what about this guy? We always said, as soon as Mikel Carrick was given the job, as till the end of the season, so I'm not sure if that qualifies as an interim, Tony. I know you're an expert on interim managers at Manchester United.
There's been a few. Yeah, there's been more interim managers than there have been full-time managers since Sir Alex Ferguson, which is mind-boggling to me. But you're going to go on about Mikel Carrick and where he fits in.
Well, as soon as he was appointed, has he got a chance of getting the job? I said on this desk, what will happen, same as Ollie, if he gets a few good results, he will start to come into the conversation. And I expected that to be over like a 6-7 week period. Let's see whether or not he is in the conversation about being given the job permanently. I'm not saying he should have the job. His 2 first results, he's on fast forward, and he's saying to himself, right, I've got 17 games to prove I deserve this job. And he wants the job. He won't say it publicly, and he's quite right to. But if he gets Manchester United into the Champions League, he has to be in the conversation about being the next permanent of Manchester United. Whether or not he's equipped to do it, I don't actually know. It could just be new manager bounce. And the one other question I would pose, because, come on, what the hell? Let's go completely over the top now. Let's go completely over the top, because I'm genuinely pleased for Manchester United fans. They've got their club back. They have suffered so much, Manchester United. Let's go completely over the top. They are 12 points off of top place. They've overturned a 12-point lead at this stage twice in their history. That's all I'm saying.
Do you think?
Oh boy, you're going there?
I know you're.
You're
going there.
I just said I'm going over the top. I didn't say it will happen.
Is there a question? Is that a statement?
No. I could read between the lines.
I don't want to read between the lines with him because you just never know, right?
Because he sets you up and then he hacks you right after, like.
No, that's it. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there.
Do they finish top 4?
Going like they are, yeah. I think the way they are going, I think he'll keep the momentum. Don't forget, Claudia, they've got no European football. Yeah. Rest in the week, look after themselves. Right now, and I wouldn't have said this 2 weeks ago, right now, I think they'll get Champions League football.
And just one small caveat to that, I think it'll give United fans, and to add what Geoff is saying, top 5.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.